How you going, guys? Welcome to another edition of the Walk and Talk. Um, Going for a bit of a Wednesday afternoon stroll. So, look, I'm not sure how many people will be able to jump on. Get that it's roughly about 3 o'clock, so people are either at work or picking the kids up from school or whatever. But Wednesdays are actually my RDO. I work longer days, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. So I get Wednesdays off. So I figured, if this does work and it's just a bit of a test, then it might be a good day to do a walk and talk. Yeah, but I don't have high hopes in particular for this, but we'll give it a crack. And yeah, hopefully people are just laying around looking for something to do, and want to talk a little bit about Collingwood. So yeah, if you're on, and I see there are a few of you that have jumped on nice and early, chuck a comment below, and yeah, we'll talk about anything you want. It can be Collingwood related, AFL related, just life in general, just whatever you want. Yep, I'm keen for it. But there has been a bit of news floating around today, Collingwood news that is, about team selection, players who are unavailable, rumours of players who could possibly come in, all that kind of stuff. So I wouldn't mind talking about that. Luke Turner, Luke, man, you're my main man. Always on, Luke, always on. Do you have a job, mate? What are you doing? Oh, good. Oh, this is great. A few of you are jumping on. Anyway, Luke says, "Hey, mate, who are your four ins?" Yeah, we'll talk a fair bit about that and throughout this stroll. But essentially, what is it now? So there's basically four force changes. Pendle's managed. Cameron hasn't got up. Lipinski concussion, of course. Darcy Moore concussion. I'm just going to put this straight out there. I'm probably going to repeat it 100 times throughout this walk and talk. I mean, two of those four changes are the most obvious changes you could ever see. And if we don't go with them, the selection panel, they've just lost their mind completely. And you got to, that is, Noah House has to debut for Darcy Moore. He has to come in for Darcy Moore. He has to debut. He's in red hot form. He's basically the only key defender we've got on our list left. We're coming up against Sydney, who have a tall forward line. I speak of Curnow, Amadi. I think, is it McLean or McDonald, one of the two that are there? It's just, it'd be ludicrous if we go anyone other than Noah House. I'm not sure if this is floating around the socials or anything, but I'm not even sure if I'm meant to go with it. So I won't say the person's name in case they don't want me to. But if it is public knowledge, then let me know. There's talk that TJ is going to be the guy to replace Darcy Moore. Now, I'm all for giving TJ another go because, I think it's harsh that he's only played the one game. But that is not a like for like. That is not setting him up to succeed. That is a dangerous game we're playing. He will get mauled by those Sydney forwards. And I don't see how a whole group of the selection panel can sit there and tick that off over Noah House. If that's true, that is just an awful selection. I'm just it's going to fail. I'm telling you, it's not this. I'm not going to make this into a hindsight thing. You hear it here first. If TJ plays in replacing, if he plays as Darcy Moore's replacement, as like the second, third key defender, he will fail at that. And it's not fair. It's just not the type of player he is. So yeah, keep an eye on that one. But for me, Noah Howe's the obvious replacement, and Chaz West. He has to replace Darcy Cameron. There's no other option. We don't have other ruckman on the list. Oscar Steen would basically ruck 80% of the game, and one of McStay or Buller would be the second ruck. So West will come in, and if he doesn't, then that's just a shocking decision. We'll chat a little bit more about the other two, the Pendlebury and Lipinski replacements, as we go on, but I'll answer a few more questions first. Who's next post Ben King? It's a good question. Are we still in the Butters race? Who knows? If you're talking about key forwards, Jed Walter from Gold Coast is one that I really like, and I would probably prefer him over King anyway. Just depends on how much we have to pay for him. So keep an eye on that. And obviously there's a Lachie Neale one as well, which we would have to pay absolutely nothing for. And we keep on forgetting to mention that in the main pod. So yeah, that's another one to watch. I spend my life quietly carrying heartbreak, disappointment, loneliness, rejection, and loss while pretending to. Yeah, okay, I'm not going to read that one out. Yeah, mate, I'm a postie. Had a quiet day today. Love it, Luke. Love it. Latest I finished 2:30 to 3. Perfect timing then for the walk and talk, mate. Always happy to have you on, Luke. You're so nice. Yeah, no, I'm all right. I'm all right. Okay, so while we wait for some more comments, 23 people on at the moment, so don't forget to drop another comment or two so we can start chatting. But the other two replacers, so obviously West for Cameron and Howes for Maul. That's how I'll be going. Now, there's talk that Michael and I's boy, Harry Dematia / Dematia / slash, as Adrian called him in our latest panel show, Harry delisted. There's talk that he will actually make his debut after we declared that we wouldn't have to learn his name because we didn't think we were ever going to have to talk about him. So Michael and I better get onto that now. I'm not going to lie, that surprises me. All the kids we talked about, Dematia and TJ were not on my list as potential guys to come in. Like, I think, Swadlin's been in some good form. There's a lot of guys out, like Will Hayes better come back. So I'll flat out say, for me, I would like to see Will Hayes come in for a Lipinski. I think he should have never been dropped to begin with. And I know this is kind of going against what I said on the podcast, but I've now had a couple more days to think about it. I would like to see Ed Allen get one last opportunity to replace Pendlebury as a CBA midfielder. If you're not willing to play him in a centre, that I wouldn't pick him. It's as simple as that. I would not pick him if he's not going to play in a centre because we know what he gives us as a wingman or a half-back or a high half forward. He ain't it in that role. But we haven't actually trialled him in his natural position since that 2024 dead rubber against Melbourne where he ripped it up. So I would like to see him come in for Pendlebury in that role, if he's going to play that role, and leave him there for a good month as well. There's no point in picking him for 1 week and then out the next. So, that's how I would be going. And I wouldn't mind a sneaky fifth change as well, because I think I've seen enough of Ned Long. Like, I would like to see someone like a Bo McCreary get dropped, but, we've got so many forced changes. He probably hangs on. Sidey, I said on the pod, I'd give him at least till Pendle's record-breaking game. Then I'd probably, see the back of him. Could probably say it in a nicer way because he's an absolute legend of the club, but that's just how I see it. But yeah, Ned Long is one that I kind of want gone now. Or Angry Anderson. I just don't think you can play them both in the same team. I personally prefer Anderson. So if we could do 5 changes, I would go with 5 changes because it just doesn't feel right that we've got 3 injuries and a management. Someone needs to be omitted because we need to make a statement after that performance. All right, we've got a few more comments. I don't know what to do. Hi, folks. Is that the Warbles? Who's on this account? Is this my boy Luke or Luke? If this is you, Luke, are you Matt? Because we're getting confused of who Luke actually is in the Warble. If you could answer that, that'd be great. Absolutely. They do great. Everyone that's watching this, make sure you tune into the Warble. They do some great lives, pre and post games. So make sure you tune into them. Maybe catch them on replay because you might want to jump onto the Into the Woods accounts and see the lives pre and post game these days. But no, they do great things over there. What do you guys think? Who do you want to see come into this side? Dematia, that's an interesting one, isn't it? That's a really interesting one. Like, is he really going to be put ahead of Will Hayes? Is that actually going to happen? Like, the guy never deserved to be dropped as it was. But yeah, and then do we actually think that Noah House is going to play? Because we're hearing the debut rumours about Di Matteo. Why are we not hearing the... See how I've called him two different names? Like every time I speak about him, I just have no clue. But we've heard the rumours about him debuting. Why are we not hearing the rumours about Noah Howe's debuting? This is just the most... Am I going crazy? It was just the most obvious selection of the season. Howe's in for Moore. West in for Cameron. Like, yeah. Look, teams are announced tomorrow at about, 6:20 p.m. I may do another live after that just to talk about team selection because it's probably the most intriguing team selection of the year. So there might be a bit to talk about. And I'd like to get it on the record, my thoughts before the game, not after the game, because I don't like these people saying, oh, no, that's such a hindsight call. So if I can, chuck out my opinion before all that goes down, that would be good. What do we got? Matt, Luke, yes. All right. Okay. So now I've got a face to the name. Luke is Matt. That's interesting. Yeah. I only found out. I think it was Age that told us that you were indeed Matt, which surprised me. I had absolutely no idea. So, yes, nice to officially meet you. What do we got up here? I want to see West, Hayes, Howes, and potentially Harvey. Wouldn't mind Ryan. Yeah, so, okay, let's run through some of these guys. Ryan's a guy that's in form. Surely he's ahead of TJ as well. Oh, yeah, I don't want to sound harsh on TJ, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to make of these team selections. Harvey Harrison, big fan, and it's only a matter of time. We should put it out there that Bobby's not playing at all. So for people that are going to jump on and say, bring Bobby back, he's not playing at any level this week. This isn't a soap opera. This isn't a, Woman's Day magazine, but can someone actually help me out with what's going on with Bobby? So Fly came out and said his partner is going to give birth. Is this the same partner? Because I know what I thought was his ex was pregnant. But that doesn't match up with the timeline of them splitting up and her moving back to WA. So is this a different partner that seems to be pregnant at the same time as his ex-partner? Or because I just it doesn't make sense to me. Are they back together? Did they just who knows? Someone help me, because this Bobby situation, it's just not going away. I don't understand. What have we got? Picking my granddaughter up from school. Love the chat. Howes must come in. Hayes has to come back in. West for sure. And what about Harrison? Yeah. So we touch on Harrison a bit more because someone else in the comments, I think it was Luke, wants to see Harvey back. Yeah, it would be. He deserves it, doesn't he? He really does. I've been saying all this time that I want to see guys like Will Hayes and Harvey Harrison, the guys that have worked hard to be in this position, get rewarded with selection in the senior side ahead of someone like a Bobby. Now, Bobby's clearly... No, this is before we found out that Bobby's not going to play at all this weekend. But I just think that, Bobby's obviously the more talented player, the better player of the three. But he just hasn't wanted to play with us for the best part of 10 months. And I don't think we should be rewarding that straight up. I think we need to I'm thinking 3, 4, 5 weeks in the VFL, especially when guys like Harvey Harrison and Will Hayes are performing. So I'd absolutely love to see Harvey come back, because he was showing great signs in 2024. He was pretty much becoming a regular in our side. Although saying that, funnily enough, I think he did his ACL in the VFL. He should have never been dropped to begin with, but he had a huge patch in 2024 where he cemented himself in the side, and I think at some point we just have to go with him, don't we? And also and Swadlin, it doesn't. I don't think he's going to play this week. I think we would have heard some murmurings by now, like we have with Di Matteo. Somebody help me with that. But so I don't think Swadlin. And I'm starting to get bad vibes about Noah Howe's, even though I think it's the easiest selection of the season. But it's good. Regardless, at least we're going to see some kids come through. They might not be the ones that I want, but at least it's something different. At least we're going something different. We're going to see what we've got on our list, because imagine being these VFL guys week in, week out, having to play reserves football, knowing no matter what you do, you're most likely not going to get a look in. I look at Charlie West, for example. This guy, he can't do anything else. He's been kicking bags of goals for the last 18 months in the VFL. And then guys like Dan McStay, Tim Membry, the like, that do absolutely nothing almost every week, continue to get picked ahead of him. And he knows, he must know, like we know as supporters that aren't even inside the club, that unless there's an injury, which now there is, he's not going to play. So if we know that, he must know that. It must be fucking deflating. We're going to start losing some of these kids, and we're going to see them pop up in other clubs, and we're going to be annoyed because some of these guys, I think, have actually got what it takes to make it at senior level. I really think that Charlie West is one of them. I really do. What have we got here? Scroll up. Kind of feel like there's not going to be a debut because we would have heard it by now, surely. Yeah, so I think Jen, the track watcher, posted on Twitter that she reckons that the Mattia will be in the mix for a debut. So yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. Maybe it might be announced this afternoon, because I do agree with you. They normally announce it at least a day beforehand. Yeah, like she reckons he's going to be playing off a wing. I'm not going to sit here or walk here and pretend that I'm an expert on his game, but I've seen him play a few times, not a lot. But from the people that watch a lot of VFL, they say he's a natural CBA midfielder. So I fear he comes on, he plays a wing or a high half forward, pushes onto a wing. We've just got another Ed Allen 2.0, a guy that can't perform in this position, that isn't going to go in his natural position. Yeah, so that's my biggest fear, that he's going to play, but not to the level that he could if he was an inside mid. What have we got? Are we going to be... okay, next one. I had a theory that they won't bring in House because they know he's going to do well. Then there's no reason to bring in Darcy Moore next week. Same reason it wouldn't bring in Cochrane. They can't have young Quebecs come in and show what they can do and show we don't need Darcy Moore. Yeah. Oh, if that was true, I would be furious. Like, there's no way we can prove it, and I'm not saying you're wrong. You could be right. It would just be, there's no integrity there, is there, with team selection? If that's the case, I already have my... Yeah. I mean, it could be the best thing that ever happened to Darcy Moore if Noah House came in and played well. If Noah House came in and played well, and it showed we didn't need Darcy Moore in that backline anymore, this could free Darcy up to be a centre half forward, pinch hit in the ruck, push up the ground, have that kind of freedom. I've heard plenty of people that have the opinion that he would be fantastic in that role. I have my doubts because it's Darcy Moore, and he doesn't fill me with any confidence. But I think it's definitely worth a go in that position. But yeah, I'm really like actually thinking about what you just said, and you actually could be onto something, and it's starting to piss me off. But yeah, I think they need to look at it in the way I just said, that we could explore another position for Darcy. It could just make us better. Darcy could be a huge upgrade up forward on any of our current forwards. So then we've got to upgrade on him down back, and he's an upgrade on whoever we have up forward. So I don't know. This Fly and his coaching staff are just so scared to make any changes like that, aren't they? What have we got now? I think he started on the wing in the VFL. Who's that? The Mattia? Yes, it is a conspiracy theory. Yeah, but you know what? Matt? I reckon there's a chance. It's probably more unlikely than likely. But you have got me thinking. You have. And it's something that I might even bring up to Mick on the main pod. Yeah, so and speaking of the pod, if you haven't tuned into the last one, guys, make sure you do. One of our angriest pods of the year. Although, the Fremantle one was pretty bad as well. I think I was actually angry in the Fremantle one, even though we only just lost. That was a frustrating night. But, what have we got now? The late Matt Rendell said Darcy would win the Brownlows or ruck. Never tried there, or like on a wing like Richard, anything to keep him out of defence. Spot on. I heard Matt Rendell talk about that many times on Trade Radio, and he was big on that. And Mick, funnily enough, Mick floated Darcy Moore on the wing about 5 or 6 years ago when Darcy Moore was actually in his prime as a centre half back, and I shut it down. But you know what they say, a broken clock is right twice a day. So Mick could have been onto something 5 years early. But we'll never know. We'll never know because they're not fucking brave enough. They're not fucking brave enough to make those kinds of moves. We've seen it time and time again. Who's to say? I think we all know what's going to happen tomorrow. We're all I think it's disappointing to see quality players like Darcy Cameron and Scotty Pendlebury not play. I don't think many of us are too disappointed about Darcy Moore and Pat Lipinski. But there is this excitement that I'm feeling online anyway. That, we got smashed against the Cats. Yeah, we're most likely going to get smashed against the Swans. Yeah, a couple of good players are missing. But we finally get to see some kids. I think we're all excited by that. But I think once their selection drops tomorrow, we're probably going to be disappointed. We'll probably see fucking Lockie Sullivan and someone else just, I don't know. Although I was told this morning that Lockie Sullivan's actually been missing due to concussion. So, but you get my point. It will be someone like that will pop in and because they're not dropping him. He's not a natural defender, and he makes the rest of the defense look jittery. Look, he's our worst defender at the moment, Darcy Moore. He's absolutely our worst defender. Let's line him up against the rest of these guys. Like, you got Jeremy Howe. Yeah, not the Jeremy Howe that we once knew and loved, but I would still take him any day to wake over Darcy. Billy Frampton. I know he wasn't great on the weekend against Geelong, but I think he's our best defender now. Who would have thought that a couple of years ago? Oh, what a great pickup he's been for us. So, yes, he's clearly ahead of Darcy Moore too. Braden Maynard, no question. The Brazzy is ahead of Darcy Moore. Isaac Quainer, I think he's had a sneaky good season when being played in defence, not as some tagging wingman. He's ahead of Darcy Moore. Dan Houston, who has really divided the Collingwood supporter base on his season. I'm pro Houston, so I'm going to say he's ahead of Darcy Moore. These guys are just like, he's just going further and further down the pecking order now, Darcy. And I think Noah Howe's, based off what's been happening in the VFL, and yes, I know it's VFL, but based on what's been happening in the VFL, I think he's better than Darcy Moore. So, I think, you're spot on. But what we haven't touched on is another thing that's happened in training this afternoon. Josh Dacos. Sorry, if you can you hear me over that dog? Yep, he stopped now. No, he hasn't. Josh Dacos. Josh Dacos finally training with the midfield group, and Craig McRae basically saying that that's where he's going to play in his press conference today. Fucking finally. It's not like the rest of our supporter base haven't been calling for this for, 18 months. Like, how slow are their decision-making of their selection panel? Like we don't need him down halfback. Defensively, he is terrible. And we don't need him down there with guys like Houston and the like. So as attacking halfback flankers, we just don't need. I think who was it? Jordan Lewis sat on the couch last night. He's wasted at halfback, and he fucking is. Now I want to see him trialled as a CBA midfielder for at least a 4 to 6 weeks patch, because I don't want to see one bad game. I don't want to see one bad game in the middle against Sydney, a tough matchup, and then him just be pushed out of there again. Give him 4 to 6 weeks to establish himself as a midfielder, and then if it's not working, don't drop him back to halfback. Put him back to what his best position has been throughout his career, and that's the wing. He's an All-Australian wingman. He's a best and fairest wingman. He's a premiership wingman. He's a great wingman. So we know that he's great in that position. Put him there if it doesn't work as an inside mid. Don't put him back to half back. Gee, all the dogs are out today, aren't they? I don't want to get bloody eaten. Not a fan of the walk and talk. Must be a Carlton supporter. But yeah, that's how I see it with Josh Dacos. All right, let's have a look at some of these comments. Great analysis, Darcy. Best thing for him is to be free from defence. But Howe's doing well down back. Darcy can definitely pinch hit in the ruck and do a job up forward. Bruzzy is our best defender. Yeah, look, Bruzzy probably is our best defender, but I'm in love with Billy Frampton at the moment. Here's a question. Huge DC fan. But let's just say hypothetically, Noah Howes comes in. He plays well as the centre half back. Then when Darcy Moore's fit, Darcy Moore then comes in, trials himself as a forward, and he's good as a forward. Charlie West performs as a forward. All of a sudden, we've got all these really good issues. What happens with DC? What happens with Darcy Cameron? Because let's just say it's West, Bull continues to perform, and Darcy Moore as our forwards. We fuck them and stay off. Can we go in with 3 forwards in Darcy Moore, Charlie West, and Jack Buller, with then 2 ruckmen and Oscar Steen and Darcy Cameron? Or do we then drop, I know this is crazy, drop Darcy Cameron, Darcy Moore can be our backup ruck, and see what he's got there, because I think he would be great in that position. Well, potentially, because it is, like I said before, Darcy Moore, and he does tend to let us down. Now, this is all hypothetical, and this is weeks down the line, all right? And I still think, as of right now, Darcy Cameron's one of our best players. So I'm just thinking about, like, if it gets to the stage where we're not winning games of football, we're not going to want to drop Howes or West or Buller. We can't drop our captain as much as I would like to. And we're not dropping Oscar Steen. If we drop Oscar Steen, then I officially give up. So it will be an interesting watch on DC. I know the boys over at Durant have been talking about potentially making him into a centre half back. But if Noah Howes is there performing, Billy Frampton, then, like, can we do that? Like, it's just, I've been thinking a lot over the last few days about how we may look in the back end of the year. If stuff haven't improved by our bye, how is this team going to look? Who are the guys that should maybe move out? Who are the guys that we need to commit to? Positional changes. I've got a lot of notes for our bye episode that's coming up in probably like 6 weeks or something, but I'm starting early because, yeah, it could be our biggest episode of the year, the bye one. I've got more notes for that one than the next episode coming up. So, yeah, just a few things off the top of my head. But what have we got here? Because they're not dropping him. Sully concussion. Fly must be gutted. He can't pick Sully. Yeah. Blessing in disguise. Like, you don't want to see anyone go down with concussion, do you? But, yeah, blessing in disguise. We'll keep that between us. Great analyst. Oh, you've already read that one. Brazzy's the best fan. Okay, we're all caught up in the comments. Come on, guys. Keep the conversation going. Yeah, now's a good chance while I'm waiting for comments to say if you enjoy content that we have, the walk and talks, the episodes, all that kind of stuff. Don't forget to subscribe over here on YouTube. Yeah, this will be the only place that the lives will drop. I'm not really interested in Instagram or anything like that. So, yeah, and like I've previously said, I don't know when I'm going to do this. I might do it once a week. I might do it 5 times a week. I might, come on a random Wednesday like this. I might come before the game, after the game, on the weekends, Sunday afternoon. We just don't know. So if you want to be a part of this, then, yeah, make sure you subscribe over at YouTube and hit the bell icon. You'll get notified when I pop up for one of these. And, yeah, I would like this to end up becoming quite a big thing because I enjoy it. I just enjoy, it's one thing sitting there talking to Mick for an hour and a half every weekend. I kind of know what I'm going to get from him because obviously he's my dad and I've known him all my life and I can kind of guess what his opinions are going to be on certain things. We've talked about a lot of things multiple times. So, yeah, talking to you guys on these walk and talks yeah, it's a lot of fun. Throwing up different things like Matt's theory on why they're not going to pick Noah Howes. That's not something that would have crossed my mind, but yeah, so it's a lot of fun. So yeah, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell icon, and you will be notified every time I do this. And the great man has just marched into this chat. The great Serge, everybody's favourite panel member, our most cat panel member, I think. Pies Nation royalty, and yeah, so good that I can't even get him up on our regular pod because he's too good for that. Too good. No, sorry about that, Serge. Sorry about not being able to get your awesome 3-minute video up on the last podcast. It was driving me insane. They're saying the format wasn't supported and some shit like that. So I tried multiple different ways to get it into my video app. It wouldn't work. I was very grumpy before we did the episode because of that, but it was great work, and I hope we did your VFL report justice by talking about a lot of the stuff that you did in that. But what's your question? Like, if you all just mention DC, more comes to function. Hypothetically, Pies win the flag. Yeah. A highlight of my week is your pod with Mick. It's great. Appreciate that, Matt. Yeah, no, it's a bit of fun, actually. It was so when we first started. I'm happy to admit it felt very scripted, robotic. Wanted to, never done podcasting before. Wanted to get every last little thing perfect. Over the last 18 months, we've had a lot of fun doing it because we just chucked everything out, got rid of the segments, as you guys, regular listeners, will probably know, and it's now just very natural. We basically said, let's just do this pod like we're talking over the phone or we're, there in person. And like a lot of the time, we save our discussion for the podcast. Like we try not to talk too much about it off air. So yeah, I feel like the pod's become a lot more fun to do and a lot more watchable since we kind of just stripped it back. So yeah, it's something that we're really enjoying. And any advice on how to continue to improve, I'll definitely take that on board. What have we got? Serge, can't believe you're walking in complete sunshine. It's pissing down here. Yeah, no, it's a beautiful day actually. Beautiful day here in the Huon Valley, Tasmania, which is rare. I'm here, t-shirt, shorts, got everything going, sunnies. No, it's good. It's rare. Message has been retracted. Okay. What do we got now? Don't worry about the video. You guys got the gist of the game. Both games very similar. Yeah. If you want, Serge, like I don't know what's going on with the video, so yeah, you can just like text it to me in writing if you can't be bothered making the video anymore, and we'll read it out just like the old days. Because yeah, something's not quite going right with that, and it is very frustrating indeed. Just got a message from my partner saying that she's watching, and now I don't really know what to say. I don't want to get in trouble. I better stop my swearing, but don't worry about. All right, so Serge, what's your opinion on Josh Dacos training with the midfield group? I can't quite remember what position you wanted him to play on the last panel show I did with you. No doubt we definitely talked about it. What I'm trying to think now, because Nick will get tagged by Jordan. Without a doubt, he'll get tagged by Jordan. Maybe this is a way that we can, and Mick mentioned on the last podcast, play Nick closer to goal. Change something. Like if Nick plays closer to goal, because if we go Josh in the midfield alongside Geordie, who else is there? Whoever replaces Pendlebury, be it maybe an Ed Allen, maybe this is the kind of midfield we can go with. Like catch the ones off guard. Like I know not having a midfield without Pendlebury and Nick Dacos at the same time might not necessarily be. The more I talk about it, the more we can't do it. Maybe it isn't the right week. Maybe it isn't right now. The Pendlebury's not there. But like, if you're just going to get tagged out of the game anyway. And, out of the game for Nick, he's still got 29 disposals. So against Mullen on the weekend, he wasn't his normal Nick Daicos self, was he? When you got a tag of the quality of Mullen and then James Jordan, yeah, you still might be able to get the ball, but I feel like you're a lot more rushed a lot of the time. Hence why I think his disposal efficiency was down. So if you get another output like that because of the James Jordan tag, it could just be better to keep him forward, have Josh in the midfield, have Geordie, and rotate those guys through. So we'll go to the comments now. Don't worry, all very good, entertaining podcast, overdue. Like Josh in a wing or the middle. Yeah, 100%. So if it's not inside mid, it's definitely a wing, isn't it? I'm not sure if you're on, Serge, when I was talking about I want a good 4-6 week patch of him as an inside mid. Give him a chance to establish himself in that role. And then, if that doesn't work, chuck him back on a wing. Because we know he's a star wingman. His days at halfback, I think, are numbered. There's no point. And it's holding guys like another guy that we haven't spoken about in this live is Will Parker. It's holding guys like him back because every time he gets a go, he's playing such a defensive game. He's on the opposition's best small forward a lot of the times, and he's sacrificing his game. And then he's getting dropped the next week or the week after. He doesn't have I would like to see him in more of a attacking halfback role. Maybe even grab a couple of kick-ins. Take 20% of the kick-ins, 30% of the kick-ins. Ball in hand, push up to the wings. Get him to enjoy his football again and see what he's got. And someone like a Josh Daicos being off halfback, I think is holding Will Parker back. So does he come in? Is he, I'm happy that we're finally going to see Demadia potentially get a run because at the moment that pick is just an absolute disaster. The fact that we went him over Logan Morris, and that's never going to be. We're not going to make up for that. We fucked that up. We did, but can we make it a little bit less bad by him being an okay player? So I do want to see him get given a go, but I just think that someone like a Will Parker maybe deserves that spot first because we haven't been able to see him play that attacking brand of football at senior level yet. And with Lipinski out, it's probably a good time to do it. And what's the bet that whoever does replace Lipinski, if they play a good game, and then they're dropped after 1 week to bring Lipper back, then I fucking give up. That would be such a Collingwood, such a Cray McRae thing to do. Their golden boy, Paddy Lipinski. Thought we're out, coach. Does everyone think Nick Daicos is injured? Yeah, Mick thinks he's injured. I think there's something there. If he's injured, he's playing pretty well still. I think that 29 disposal game with a Mullen tag, I think that was his lowest disposal count of the year. So he's going pretty well for an injured player. I think he set such a high standard for himself that we judge him harsher, which is fair. That, he's a champion. That's what we do with champions. So, he might be injured, but I can't imagine if it was anything serious that we would take a risk with him. That would be ludicrous. Why is Ryan not getting a game? Surely he's better defender than Sidey is. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Ultimate greatness. Absolutely. That was the most baffling call of the year. Okay, well, let's talk a bit about Sidebot. We'll chat about him now. Because I need to be careful what I say because he's a legend of the club. And I don't want to sound like I'm dissing him because I'm not. Age, unless you're Scott Pendlebury or Jack Gunston, age catches up with pretty much every AFL player. So it's normal. What's happening to Sidebottom now is absolutely normal. He's just not the player he was, and he's most likely finished. What's not normal is the selection committee just continuously picking this guy over kids that are performing week in, week out in the VFL and moving him around the ground weekly trying to find a position for him. So he starts the year on a wing, then he spends a bit of time inside. That doesn't work, so he goes forward. Then he has a forward tagging role in Sicily. Then he's back in defence. Or no, not back in defence. He's just in defence. I don't think he's played defence for at least a couple of years. He's just simply not a defender. And you've got guys like Jacob Ryan, as you named, Noah Howes. There's so many options. Will Parker, who I was just talking about. These kids that are performing well at VFL level being overlooked for someone because of just who he is. And I think surely Sidebottom's just feeling a bit embarrassed by that. Like he's not the kind of guy that I think would want to stand in the way of a kid. It would not surprise me if he doesn't lift his game in 2 weeks, that he pulls the pin before the mid-season draft. It'd be like what Sean Grigg did over at Richmond that eventually resulted in them getting Marlon Pickett. Because he just doesn't seem like the kind of guy that would want to stand away in that. So free up another lift spot, go out on a high alongside his mate Pendles in that record-breaking game. I can just say, because the fact that we've got him down defence just proves that we're looking for a position for him, and that just should not be the case. Like, when you're done, unfortunately. And he's been an absolute superstar for this club, one of our all-time greats. So, yeah, it's sad. And I don't want to see him end his career in the VFL. That's another thing. He's too good for that sidey. He doesn't deserve to be playing in the VFL, but yet he shouldn't be playing at senior level. So I really kind of hope that he's one of those guys that pulls the pin in the middle of the year. What have we got here? Q order morons who think Ed Allen should play inside mid, yet he acts scared when he gets the ball. Some supporters are so clueless he's not up to it. I mean, I get your point. He is timid, isn't he? I've seen him pull out of the contest. You're not wrong. He did play inside mid against. I know that Melbourne game was a dead rubber, it was a couple of years ago, but he played that role. That's the only time he's done that at senior level, and he looked good. He played that role in both of our practice matches this season, and he looked good. He plays that role every single week in the VFL, and he looks good. Yeah, his disposal efficiency might let him down at times, as the great man Serge said in his VFL report. But everything that we've seen, including his junior football before we drafted him, everything we've seen from him as an inside midfielder is good. So calling the people that want to see him playing his natural position a moron, I think you're wrong by saying that. I just simply think you're wrong by saying that. Because all the evidence suggests that he is a capable inside mid. I get your point that, like, around in any other position, we've seen that he isn't up to it. But I mean, let's just see what he can do in his natural position. If he doesn't perform, I want to see a 3 or 4 week patch, because you can never base these things off one game, because everybody plays a bad game. Nick Dacos occasionally plays a bad game. So I would hate to see someone just finally get given a go in a natural position after years, then get dropped after one game because they didn't perform. He needs a 3 or 4 week patch. If he's no good at a 3 or 4 week patch and people are still saying to give him longer, then I might be more on your side there. But for the time being, I say no. He needs. I say you're wrong with that comment. Josh in the midfield is good for my super coach. Yeah, good for super coach. Maybe not good for AFL fantasy. Might not be able to get the cheap ball that he does off halfback, although he hasn't been scoring that well off halfback lately anyway. But Supercoach numbers, contested possessions and all that. Yeah, I've got Josh Dacos too. I've got him in both AFL fantasy and Supercoach. So we'll see what that does to his scoring. If Morris had come to Collingwood, he would still be right into VFL. Yeah, I always say that too, Matt. He would. It's like the whole Murphy Reid conversation too. Like, we gave up that pick 17 to Fremantle for Lockie Schultz, and they got Murphy Reid with that pick. And I mean, fuck, how good would it be? Imagine right now Murphy Reid kicking it down to Logan Morris. Oh, like they would lay off the media when it comes to us saying that we've got no kids other than Nick. But then in saying that, neither of them would be in the senior team, would they? Would be going with the old timers, bloody still Sidebottom in a wheelchair, dribbling it down to bloody Dan McStay, who then might take a mark, and if he does, he'll snap it from 25 out directly in front to miss. Yeah, beautiful. Anyway, look at Melbourne. Lost Oliver, Track, Viney, not playing, but guys sitting below them have stood up. Spot on, Serge. Guys that we had never heard of, performing. Getting given a chance in prime roles and performing. There's this excitement around Melbourne at the moment. I tipped them to finish second bottom. I did. I thought they were going to be no good, and they've proved me wrong. Even if they, drop off in the back half of the year, miss finals, that's fine because they've given these kids experience, and there's excitement there now, isn't there? There's excitement. You don't know what you got, and not all of them. Like some of them are high picks, but not all of them. Not all of them. So, imagine if we could do that. I would much prefer us play a bunch of kids in the back half of the year, have some exciting games where we just lose and then just miss out of the finals instead of playing all these old timers, getting a few scrappy wins and then just slipping into a wild card. I think I would much prefer to say the kids get a go than that. Ultimate greatness. We should adapt Moldhouse philosophy. Throw the birth certificate out the window. Are you performing enough to keep the spot? Sidey should be dropped as he isn't performing where Pendles is. Yeah, you're spot on. And I've heard Fly talk about this himself. He has a similar philosophy, Fly, but he said he doesn't put a restriction. He doesn't care how old you are. If you're performing, then you play. And I admire that 100%. Like, we won a premiership with an extremely old team. So that works for us. But then why doesn't it go the other way then? Why does he put a restriction on players that are 18, 19, 20 because that's their age? He doesn't like them because they're kids. He wants to pick experience, even if those experienced players aren't playing well. So it doesn't make sense. It just, but you're spot on. You're spot on. But the way the Fly looks at it, he looks at it one way, not the other. Yeah, it just doesn't make sense. Not to mention leaving Purple Haze out after kicking 2 goals in a close game. I was at the Geelong game and it was so obvious we needed Cummins fast more forward, a Fly selection howler. Purple. Why is he called Purple, Matt? You're spot on. Will Hayes should have never been dropped, and there will be a riot if he is not back in the team. If he's not back in the team for this Sydney game, I will lose my fucking shit. I promise you that. Even in Fly, we trust cult members. We're questioning leaving out Purple. Why is he purple? Just to make this clear, I'm actually still a huge Fly fan. I am. I love Fly. I just think he's coaching really bad at the moment. I think he's in bad. Like a player can be in bad form, I think Fly's in bad form. Let's face it, we finished 17th on the ladder. He takes over. We make a prelim, 1 point off a grand final. We then win a flag. We then missed the finals, which was disappointing. But then we come back with 3 points, 3 games clear, top of the ladder in 2025. Drop off, still make a prelim. If it wasn't for bloody Membry stuffing it up, kicking us Elliott, and then the umpire stuffing up by not paying a free kick, there's every chance we could have been in another grand final. Geelong didn't turn up that day. He could have won 2 flags. He didn't, so I won't go on about that. But he still made 2 prelims and won a premiership in 4 years. So after taking over a team that was 7th on the ladder, so I'm still a big Fly fan. It's just we're in a different phase for the first time since he's taken over Collingwood. We're in a different phase now, and this is a different challenge. And he's not starting well, is he? For a guy that was regarded as the best development coach in Australia before he took over the Collingwood senior coaching job, he's not proving to be that great development coach. These kids are rotting away in the VFL, and these older guys are just coasting in the senior team and doing nothing. So he needs to get a reality check. He needs to pull his head out, and he needs to adapt. Not a good start, but he can fix this. He can. This is becoming a daily occurrence, and I'm all, yep. It's good. Oh, yes, my boy, Adrian. Almost missed who that was. How you going, mate? G'day, mate. Me too. ultimate greatness. If we play the kids, it will give the rest of them motivation to play well in the reserves. It seems like senior game can be. So yeah, so 100% agree with that. Like, I think I touched on it before. Look, how deflating would it be being these kids, knowing that unless there's an injury, you're no chance of playing in a senior team. No matter how poorly these senior guys ahead of you are playing and how well you're performing, you're no chance of breaking in unless there's an injury. And you just know that if you're quiet for one game in the seniors, or even if you're not, even if one of these old guys that aren't pulling a finger out come back from injury or whatever, you're gone. Like, you're gone. Like, and the chances are when you get that go in the senior team, you're not going to play your proper position. You're going to be put out on a half forward flank or something. And yeah, it's just, it would be a hard team to play for if you're a VFL player. How infuriating that the media and other supporters say that we have no good young players. We do, but Fly won't play them. So they just don't know about them. Yeah, spot on. And that's why I don't like. I'm a bit of a Kane Cornes fan. People probably hate to hear that. I like Kane. He says a lot of things that make me angry, but then I stop and I'm like, he's just here for the clicks. Like, he's good at what he does. He knows what he's doing. He knows that Collingwood will get the clicks and we'll get the outrage. But when he says stuff like that, I shake my head. I'm like, I want to see his smug little smile go away when guys like Charlie West, Noah Howes, Will Hayes, these type of guys finally get a go and prove that they're good players. I just want to see what he has to say at that point. I really do. Fly doesn't rate disposal efficiency, so play Allen in the middle for a few weeks to see if he has it or not. Spot on, Serge. Spot on. Fly did say that in his last press conference, didn't he, in regards to Nick doesn't rate disposal efficiency. Bit strange, but we'll go with it. Purple Haze. Why do people keep on purple? Oh, Purple Haze. All right. Jimi Hendrix song "Purple Haze." Ask your dad. Okay. I got ya. I don't know the song, but I got ya. Great song. Yeah. Mick would know. Yep. He's hoping that they are just into a Pendles record-breaking game, then the axe comes quick for a few. Who do you want to see, Adrian? Who's on the chopping block after the Pendles game? Because I kind of agree as well that it's all going to happen. If it happens, it will all happen after Pendles game. I think that they'll want Sidey there, and for me, he's first on the chopping block. Who have you got? Which I'll put this to not just you, Adrian, but Matt and Serge and Luke and all the ultimate greatness, all the people that are currently here, everyone that's tuning in. I want you to comment who the top 3 players in the senior side that you want to see out in, say, 3 weeks' time. And then I want you to list the top 3 players in the VFL that you want to see get a run. I'll be interested to see what you guys think. And as we wait for the new people coming on, sorry for the people that have been tuned in the whole time. For the new people that are tuned in, and if you're a first-time walk and talker, welcome. It's good to have you. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel, hit the bell icon button. You'll get notified every single time I do this. Because there is no set date for the walk and talks. All right, so hopefully the people that are on are currently typing and giving me their thoughts on the players that they want in and out. So this is basically for the question I just asked. It's basically for after the West Coast game. So once the Pendlebury record break is over, is it just a reset? Is that the way the club's going to look at it? I personally hope so. I'll give my. I've basically said from the top, and some people on here wouldn't have heard. It's Charlie West and Noah Howes are the top 2 for me. You got your key forward, you got your key back. They've just got to come in, don't they? Especially like this week. So not even just in 3 weeks, but with Darcy Moore and Darcy Cameron now, they're the most 2 obvious selections of the year. I think Fly said about Charlie West at his press conference. I didn't actually watch it, but I saw a few quotes. And he said, yeah, I hope his name gets brought up in the selection meeting. What do you mean you hope it gets brought up? Like, who's in charge of this thing, Fly? Um, yes, it will be brought up. And if it isn't, and you just sit there quietly and let that happen, then I think maybe you should, maybe, I just went on about how I'm a big Fly fan, but maybe you should just walk away at that point. If you're not going if you're not going to bring up Charlie West at team selection. All right, we've got a few now. Any chance Fly? Oh, hold on. Is there one before it? No. Any chance Fly is playing a rope-a-dope season way until back end of the season until he brings in Order You to take us in beyond the finals? Nah. I just think Fly's just. I don't think he's got a plan like that. I think he's just struggling to part ways with these senior guys that have been so good to him over the years. Premiership players, other guys that have performed in finals for him. I just don't think he wants to drop them. I think one of it might have been Andreas or it might have been one of the podcasters said a while ago that they might feel like they owe someone like a Dan McStay something because he's missed out on 2 premierships essentially. Missed out on 23 because of the knee, and then going on to see Brisbane win at 24. Oh, and 25, so technically 3 premierships. If he stayed at Brisbane, he could have been a part of those last 2. If he didn't get injured at Collingwood, he could have, he would have been a part of that team. So I think maybe he feels like he owes McStay something, which then hurts at Charlie West, and I just hate that. You don't owe anyone anything. It's unfortunate what happened to McStay a few years ago, but yeah, we've seen heartbreak stories before. Doesn't mean that you then sacrifice your next few years trying to get this one guy a flag. What have we got now? Can someone tell me how Lipinski got concussion? I don't know. You tell us, Serge. He's your mate. He's your best mate, isn't he? Pat Lipinski. Might have been maybe your arm accidentally knocked his head when you put your arm around him for that selfie. Oh god, yeah, I don't know. It's a good question. Okay, Luke, Long McStay Lipper out. Long McStay Lipper, tick tick tick. I agree with those 3, and maybe Sadie. Yep, I definitely tick on Sadie. But it wouldn't feel right. West, Hayes, and I really want to see Ryan get a run at it. West, tick. Hayes, tick. Ryan, tick. Yep. I'm on board with you, Lukey boy. Ultimate greatness. We've got Ryan, Howes, and West. Tick, tick, tick. Definitely agree with that. Swadlin, I'd give that a big tick too. And Harrison and Dematia will be all right, but they will be more later on, in my opinion. Not sure why people are saying Dematia played. Well, the rumours are that Dematia, or whatever his name is, someone help me. The rumours are that he's playing this week, that he's going to debut. So watch his space. It would be a strange one. I'm hearing TJ too, another strange one. Like, nobody's naming these 2 as the 2 that they want to see. I certainly don't have them in my top 5 or 6 of these kids. So if those are the 2 guys that play, that is just odd. And like I said at the start of this live, and for the people that didn't tune in at that point, if TJ comes in as a Darcy Moore replacement instead of Noah Howes, and we expect him to play on a Curnow or a Marty or a McLean or a McDonald, it's going to fail. It's bad for the team and it's bad for TJ. If TJ comes in, he needs to come in as a flanker. Take all the pressure off him. You're not setting him up to succeed. So that would be extremely disappointed if we chuck him in the deep end like that and then we let Noah Howes rot away in the VFL for another week. Would be the worst selection of the year. And I want to bring it up now so people don't say, oh, that's a hindsight call when I say it on the podcast, because I'm saying it now, 2 days out from the game, that will 100% fail. And if all the coaches think that is a good move, then I've lost all faith in the club, because it's so obvious to me. Sidebottom has to age. Sidebottom has to be gone. Lipinski, no-brainer. How the next injury career over. Membry never to be seen again. Chris, if his form doesn't warrant down the 2s or rested, who cares about the record? Yeah, I'm off the record now when it comes to Jack Chris. He's got it. and he's got it easily as well. So what are we doing? Like, why does this record for Jack Crisp keep on getting talked about? He's broken it, and he's broken it easily. I think I saw Tom Mitchell's podcast. They had, who was it that he had on? Brody Mychek. This was a couple of weeks ago. Best mates with Jack Crisp and Will Hoskin-Elliott, said that Crispy wants to get to 300 games in a row, and of course he wants to. But we're not here to play for records. Like, Pendle's record is great, but his form warrants that, doesn't it? Like, he's still one of our best players. If Crisp's form is not up to it, then who cares about this record that's already been broken? I doubt it's ever going to be beaten again anyway. I think he's safe. It's a hard record to break. He's done a great job. In saying that, I think his form has been better over the last month. Chris would have been close to the top of my list if we were talking a month ago. I've now got him down a bit. There's about maybe like 4 or 5 guys, maybe 6 guys that I have ahead of him on the chopping block. But yeah, look, if he puts together another bad patch of form, the record shouldn't even be considered. He would need to be dropped. Players out: Membry, Lipinski, Sidey. Plays in: Howes, Hayes, West. I would look to drop Steele and rotate Swadley and Ryan. Yeah, agree with all that, Serge. And once again, another person that doesn't have Dematia and TJ in their top handful of kids they want to see get a go. So again, if they are the 2 guys to fly in the coaching panel go with, it'd be very surprising. Oh shit, I got to go soon because I've just got a low battery warning. I'm being serious. Did Lipper hit his head on a locker? Yes, I have no idea. I don't know, Serge. TJ has had 2 solid weeks, but not great. He was woeful before that. His decisions are extremely questionable, but his skills are no good. Yeah, I'm no TJ expert. I don't get to watch the VFL as much as I want, but I take your word for it. A lot of people say the same thing. If TJ and Dematia got called up, Collingwood has no selection integrity. Yes, I agree, Serge. Yeah, you're the VFL expert. Maybe you should apply to be on the selection panel. Nobody sees it like you at VFL level. TJ over Ryan is a genuine piss take. It would have to be, wouldn't it? It would have to be. TJ won't show up more. Don't be surprised if TJ is played. TJ won't show up more. Don't be surprised if TJ. But yeah, that's what Matt was saying earlier in the pod. Not sure if you're here for that, Adrian, but it's exactly what he was saying. So I wonder if there is something behind that. Because like I said at the start of the podcast, if a Noah House comes in and plays that role and he plays really well, it could be the best thing that's ever happened to Moore's career. He could all of a sudden be a centre half forward. He could then maybe pinch hit in the ruck. He could push up the ground. He could have some freedom in his game. If he stuffs up, it isn't going to be as costly. Yeah, I just don't see how this could be a bad thing for Moore if he goes well. Like, is the club that hell-bent, and is Darcy Moore that hell-bent on staying down there as a defender? Because, about half an hour ago, I listed, I think, 5 or 6 of our defenders that I now think have gone past Darcy Moore. Yeah, I don't know. But you guys could be onto something. I got to wrap this up soon, guys, because of my phone battery. Otherwise, I'm really enjoying this. I would love to actually stick around and continue. It's fucking annoying. TJ, they don't show up. Third selection integrity has been missing for over 2 years. It has, yeah. TJ MVP in the VFL. Really? Is that what he got? Did he get given the MVP from is it Matty Locken, the senior coach there? Yeah. Yeah, but that's one good game. Even if he did get that, that's one good game. Like, sounds like Jacob Ryan's had a very good, consistent year. Noah House is ripping it up. Like, Sydney have one of the tallest forward lines in the comp. This is going to be a disaster if we don't go Noah House. It's going to be a fucking disaster if we go TJ. I'm telling you right now, this is not going to work. It's not going to work at all. And yeah, it just shocks me that this has even been talked about. This has even been considered. Yeah, fuck. Yeah, anyway. All right, guys. I will wrap this up in a second. Thank you for everybody that has tuned in. That was probably my favourite one yet. I really enjoyed that because there's a lot to talk about there. I'm surprised we only spoke about Bobby Hill for about 3 minutes very early because that was something I really wanted to talk more about. No one answered my question on what's going on and like what is happening with Bobby and like did him and his partner break up? How is this kid his? I'm so confused. For anyone that's watching this back on replay, bloody drop a comment below and tell me what the hell is the gossip with Bobby Hill and his partner. Like, Jesus Christ, this never ends with him. But yeah, no, I appreciate everybody tuning in. Be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel and hit the bell icon. You'll be notified anytime I come up for this walk and talk. Might even pop up for one tomorrow after team selection because, yeah, I'm intrigued. It's probably the first time in a long time I've been really interested in team selection because something, whether it's exciting or frustrating, something different is going to happen and it'll be worth talking about, that's for sure. I got 3 more comments I could go for. Yes, was all over socials, but he wasn't the best player. This is why. This part B of my conspiracy. Okay, yeah. So it's a big build-up. It's a big build-up from the VFL. They're trying to get in their heads that TJ's in good form, so he can come into the AFL team, fail, and then Darcy Moore can come back into his position, and we'll all be begging for Darcy to come back. I get your point, and I don't think it's a bad one. Just run home and chuck your phone charge. Yeah. I used to have a portable charger, and it broke it 2 weeks ago, and I've been meaning to buy one, and I'm really frustrated that I haven't got one at the moment because I would just chuck that in and continue. Even Ron still playing a defensive role, which is screwing up with his form, being one of our best prior to that. Yeah, I was big on him in the preseason in the first part of this year. His form is dropping, and it might have something to do with that. You could be onto something. Yes, Luke, we'll wait. I appreciate the love, guys. Appreciate you wanting me to stick around. I don't know. What time is it? Why can't I see the time on this thing? I don't want to exit this, but I've gone nearly 70 minutes. It's been a lot of fun, guys. And I will most likely be back on tomorrow. So yeah, don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell icon, and it's been another fun walk and talk. Appreciate it, guys. See you later.